Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for part two of our awesome conversation around the value of numerology. Have you enjoyed part one? Did you get value? And oh my gosh, are you excited for this topic? See, when I was appreciating numerology, I realized how many different applications it had. I first, of course, learned about this through business, where I had to learn or find out my appreciation for how to, create money. And but the big part for me that was super important was how to find my love life, how to create, love relationships. It was always love that was on my mind whenever it came to success or succeeding, being of anything. I felt like I had to be in love in order for anything to happen, which of course isn't, the case. But if you say it's so, and you kind of set that for yourself, then what other choice do you have? You are a self-fulfilling prophecy. So when I appreciated, supposed to get my success on, supposed to get my material, supposed to go out there and become an entrepreneur and get a business. And yet here I was saying things like, I'd like to fall in love, and I'd like to, so it's true. And it's easy to account that, money isn't the end of all things. And it's just a means to an end that I appreciate. We're going to put this on part three. So part one was really about the self and learning about what numerology can do for you in an introduction space. Here, we're actually going to start to take a look a little bit more at its application, but as well at the same time, would like to have a conversation around what it means to love, or to be in love, or to own it, know it, show up for it. Like, I don't know. I guess there's different ranges of it. Some people want the soulmate, just their person, and that's it, and they don't want anything else. Some people would like to have a beautiful, loving relationship, and then also have, other relationships that are platonic, and that, they're just friends, and that they're just part of a community, and they just exist in their spaces together. There are some people who like to have like polyamory, where it's like a not a single partner. And then if you think about it, your road, most likely, well, my road has been one relationship and then another relationship, and until I found the one that I wanted to be with. So I didn't know just one love in my life. I've had different experiences of love in my life as I grew through it. So I could consider myself at one moment polyamorous, because I did have more than one relationship, but I never wanted to have more than one at the same time. I remember as a kid, being a little sleazy kid, I was like, I did that. I dated two girls at the same time. I felt really bad. I didn't want to do that. I didn't feel like that was the space for me to appreciate what love was, or what I wanted to be when it came into terms of love. And really, guys, relationships are reflections. So just to appreciate that, if you are in a relationship or not, or you like being in a relationship or not, or if you like your relationship or not, this is a guidance signal system that comes back to, how do we treat ourselves? How do we allow ourselves to be treated? And how do we appreciate other people treating us? So when I'm getting to go into this with you, and as I'll say this again, this is a very spiritual looking topic that we're going to make look extremely technical. We're not going to take a mystical take on this. We're going to take a real frequency look at the algorithms that are running. You guys remember, if you didn't watch part one, I would definitely suggest that you do so, because it's important for us to do it. So I'm going to share my screen, and I also want to I'm going to pull comments out. And I would also love to share this message across my social media. So if you guys don't know me, I am on Facebook primarily quite a bit. So you can catch me on Messenger. I do go lives on there. And I'm going to share this right now to help some people come to see us, what we're doing. So join us for a love conversation live on YouTube. And that way we can appreciate that. So thank you so much for watching us again. I hope you enjoy this next hour. Should hopefully not take too much more longer than that. But we have stuff to cover, right? So let me just put this inside of my groups. I have a private group for where my clients go, the people who have worked with me. And then I also have a private chat to keep a hold of me in case you're part of the messenger chat. So we're creating spaces for us to connect, because inside of this conversation, you're an ever flowing, ever evolving human being. So to enjoy that this is something that you should take with you makes me feel like it's worth sharing. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. And why not record just to have some fun? Welcome, everybody. This is the Solution Artist, Bobby B.F. Perryhart here, lovingly introducing myself again. I've been with you here for a few minutes, of course, but now that we're recording, we're real. This is for real. So what we're going to do is part 2, the masterclass of numerology, where we take a look at love. And I would love to understand this beautifully by being able to appreciate what love does and means for us. Part of this is very self-love. Part of this is very relationship, like how do I be with another? And then you have, creating your own clan or your own tribe. I don't know what you want to call it. Let's call it family. You want to procreate. There's a love for there, or dependence. People who are going to animals or plants or children, not to say that they're anything like themselves, other than that they can all die if you don't take care of them, but they're dependent on you, right? There's a space in there. Even your partner is dependent on you for sure, for the things that you guys connect and relate to. After you get to your family, there's relationships and love that end up going out to your community. And I mean, really, I guess this is where tribe comes in, because you have your family or your clan, and then you have your tribe with community, the levels of love, starting with self, and then externalizing into relationship, externalizing then into your own dependent situation, where we have a house, we got things together, we're going to do stuff together, and of course we're going to create kids together, if that's of course in your nature. And then the further one out of that is about tribe and community, and how do we connect. Most of us who listen to my message are entrepreneur, so we're already used to the idea of creating a community of support to help others and ourselves feel like becoming successful materially is no sweat, no big deal. So if you do feel like it's a challenge, don't go alone. I say this all the time. Take a friend, take people you can trust, meet people you can trust. However it is, you can absolutely trust us. The way that our business model works is that we don't make money unless you make money. So it's one of those wonderful things. I had a really big stigma about becoming an entrepreneur, just selling someone a business, or just selling someone opportunity, or just selling someone something. That didn't sit right with me, because I was like, well, what if they don't succeed, or if I don't succeed, and then what if we look bad in that and all that stuff. So I'm blessed that through that vision that we've been able to decide that this is how we want to create business. We're going to do business with people that says we make money together. We don't just leave you in the side while we just take your money. This isn't how it works. So I appreciate you guys grabbing all the value you have from this, but your community, your tribe is safety. It's a safe space for you to be able to go out there and actually create wealth and success, and not feel like you're going to be judged and ridiculed. Like, ouch, especially the people who you love and care about are the ones doing it to you. And it's not easy to go out there and say, I want to be self-employed or self in this and that. And yet everybody's got a small little savings account. Everybody's got a small little pet project. Everybody got a small little ambition. Nobody decided that they just wanted to get a corporate job and that was the end of them. There was something inside of them that says, hey, I've got something more to me. So just to appreciate, looking for tribes is a really beautiful space. But then we have a bigger one, it's the collective. And this is like levels of love. So in this level of love for self, I may experience energies like, let's say 1, 5, 7, inside of the 1, I get an energy of like me, and I want to win and I want it all. and also the space of a one that's like, I'm thinking about self. It's not so much that you have a choice. It's more like appreciating one as in having one eye. Did you know that you have two eyes so that you can discern depth and that you can see in 3D? If you trained your eyes to look with one, you would then lose a relevance for how far things are away. And one eye is going to be stronger and one eye will be weaker than the other. So you got a dominant eye. This is me, my right eye, clearly. I can see. And then when I look at my left eye, I'm like, oh, hold on. And I have to open my eye and stretch it out because the one thinks in terms of one dimension. Does this work for me or not? Is this something I need or not? I see everything and just that's it. Like I just see it for what it is. So appreciative that there is a strong focus in this. Hey, this actually looks pretty attractive when it's in the positive space. You can imagine someone who's not worried about your opinion or trying to prove themselves to you. Or maybe they're, like I was just telling this to my wife, like it goes positive and negative in both up and down directions. It's such a beautiful technology when we look at numerology and its sort of value. But when we see in the one, I'm focused like a dart is focused on the bullseye, like a bull is focused on the red flag, like it's nothing else. Everything else is superfluous energy. It can be gone to the side. Now, of course, on the positive end of this person knows himself. This person's an alpha. This person's absolutely okay with their energy where it needs to be. They don't need themselves to be proven to anyone else. They're going on their own journey anyway. And if you want to follow them, that's great for you. It's great for you. That's it. It's my way or the highway. That's a one. I'm not a one, I'm a two. So I'm like, well, wait, don't do that. So we're not going to talk about the two because I would be like, well, let's go back and forth a little bit. Let's just have a little bit of that, like give and take. The one is like, no way, you give it to me, all I take it all. That's the space of a one. Some people are really into this. So if you have someone, let's say if you're trying to create love in your life, really, I would say I'm going to talk about external love. You definitely want to master what it means to be in love with the self. Okay. So the next number, of my opinion, of the self-love or love in terms of the self is the 5. And this is an exploration. This is the freedom of commitment. So in the, certain people out there have commitment issues. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just appreciating that a 5 wants its way and it needs to have a circulation of experiences. So if you want to take that straight up into the bedroom, it's going to be difficult unless you're very frisky and super open to trying all kinds of weird stuff, that you would keep this person interested because they may just get bored and be like, okay, what's next? And so inside of a love life, let's say, well, I still want to be super committed, but I have to figure out how I'm going to get the rise. How am I going to get the joy? How am I going to keep the spice alive, especially if I'm going to be with just one person? It's an important factor. Well, I want to go traveling. I want to do, fun things together, privately. Or I want to do fun things together publicly. I want more stuff to experience so that we can feel like we're in battle together and not battling each other. Because one of the more difficult parts of the 5 says, oh, you don't get me, or you don't take care of me, or whatever it is. And this me situation starts to come into the space. I'm leaving. I'm out. And we don't want to be in that because this is too suffocating. It's not free enough. You don't give me enough space. You don't give me enough this and that. So it's always about, you don't give me enough. And I'm like, why do they say that? Like, well, the 5 is about getting stuff. So you don't give enough you're to a 5. It really isn't your problem. It's just, I appreciate that they may, skip the understanding of thinking that I'm enough. And so I want more, or I am all that I need. So I don't need to look externally for anything because the 5 outsider says I have to look externally for everything. So appreciative inside of a 1, I would like to say, how do you build a bulletproof love life? Now, there's 2 angles to this. One is to read your charts and to have your chart. If you are interested in doing this, then you are all invited to send your birthday to me on my profile. I have a post on my profile that on my Facebook that allows you to get in. So you don't have to You don't have to be a friend of mine to comment on here. But if you want a birthday reading, you can go right up here. It's right on side of my web, my profile page. You put your birthday in here, and I will be able to pull it out. So if you want, maybe I can pull one out today, and then that way we can do a little bit of analysis on some love. But in the meantime, let's just appreciate that you've got love on the mind, or at least inside of this masterclass. So we can take a temperature check. There's the one space in doing this says, look at your chart and find out the temperatures flowing through your vehicle, your being, and see which one of these numbers is going to be the one that you need. Or you can just buy every single color paint and then bring it home and take, it's only 9 numbers. It's only 9 colors. But they're not all unique to you. They're expressive to the entirety of the experience. You are a singular expression of that. So while I will explain to you all of these numbers and where they fit in the vibration of what love means, I would still recommend that you find out which one are your numerological spaces that you hold to see where your love will anchor in. Some people don't have the 1. Some people don't have the 5. So some people are not thinking about themselves or thinking about traveling anywhere or thinking about being with anyone else. They just dream and dream and dream of the one person they're supposed to be with, or the one person they want to be with, or the thought of being with one person, that they're like missing this, I have to take care of myself, or I have to actually go out and find someone. I can't just be sitting and thinking about someone else and pulling them into my atmosphere. And I mean, to be fair, you could actually do that. I mean, if that was in your chart and we were talking about your specific spaces and you didn't have a 1 or a 5, I might recommend you not to do that and say, hey, you might want to meditate on it and bring it in and bring it to you. So let's talk a little bit about what happens in a 7 energy, where there's just a sense of being. There's no rush. There's no, it's just a little bit of a laziness, and appreciate that this is also beautiful. So in the 7, we just want to rest. In the 7, we just want to enjoy what's there. And we just want to enjoy what's inside of us. We're not going out seeking for anything. I remember learning about bears in the winter, and they just sleep. They've eaten enough. They don't need to go out. They're hibernating. And this is inside of a 7, is very much about resting and about being inside of that I'm good. So it's okay. Take time to love yourself. Take time to be with yourself. Take time to be for me, these are really big numbers, and they code down to very specific energy frequencies of things that you could do if you find yourself saying, hey, I want to have all this big love life and everything, but if I go down this scale from collective, the whole world loves me, all the way down to myself, I love me, and I stop at self, I don't love me, I look at this and I'm like, okay, what could you do? What could you do in order to arrange self-love? In my opinion, 1 says wellness. You could do a bunch of different things. Wellness is one of them, and also ambitious energy. So if the 1 wants to stand out and say, I have to figure out myself, I got to do something right for me. I'm going to, get a massage, or I'm going to get a certain thing, or I'm going to get a thing that allows me to feel better, or I'm going to get detoxes and cleanses. You're doing something good for your body. For example, let's have some water. So appreciative that wellness comes in a lot of forms, right? Cheers. And I appreciate having an awareness for knowing that I'm water. If I drink it and I drink it with gratitude, it's a form of therapy. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. It's nice and cold, hot summer day. It's nice. This is what my dad told me that beer would feel like. It's so weird. He's like, when you get to a hot summer day, you just crisp open a nice beer. I'm like, I enjoy that. I like having it. We don't drink beer very much, actually. Can't even remember the last time I had one. Maybe the last year. So anyway, 6 months. But then I look at water the same way, right? When I'm looking at my wellness. If I'm looking at beer that way, I'm probably not in a space of self-love and nourishment, because I'm made of water. I'm not made of beer. So this is a small thing. If you're not feeling good, go have a glass of water. If you're not feeling good, go drink some water and say thank you at the same time. Like it's a small little thing. It's a tiny bit of wellness. I'm having a shitty day. I'm just gonna go have some water. I'm gonna go drink some water. I'm gonna go have some water right now. And then that way I can refresh and hydrate, right? This is an important thing. So one, wellness. Also, ambitious energy. We get a lot on the other side of this coin of one, because every number has this negative side. We go crazy. Insane. Like you don't understand. The one is gonna be like neurotic, and it's gonna feel like everybody's watching me, or when nobody's watching you, or nobody's watching me when everybody's watching you, or I can't find myself when you're right there, or I think I'm this when you don't think you're that. Like you really misidentify the sense of self in such a dramatic way. Like this is why the word chaos is shows up as a negative one. Like it's not, I mean, there is no positive one. I mean, except for inside of things like self, temple, gain, right? Like there is stuff in there that builds, right? There is values of the one that show up inside of positive numerology, but inside of negative numerology, the space of like chaos or crazy, and then we lose our minds because we feel like we've got to do something we don't. We identified with something we didn't need to. We made something ours, it's not ours. And so the negative one says, I got to take care of that. So I'm like, okay, let's be ambitious about stuff. Let's go out there and say, I want that. I want it all. I got to do it. I got to make sure I get that. I'd like that. Hey, what do I need to do to get it? What's the deal there? How do I get to the bullseye? See that space is like, I want to do something. Even if the odds are against you, you may still have an ambition. This is a really good way of keeping your one energy in self-love that says, I follow my ambition. Can you imagine the betrayal we feel inside of ourselves if we don't follow our heart and we don't follow our vision or our mission or where I want to go? Like imagine I got this one and it's pointing right at the target and I'm like, and I just turn the wheel looking at the target and I'm turning this way and I'm driving this way, but I'm still looking over here. I'm like, oh, I'm going to crash. There's going to be something silly that happens because it's just not the way it works. You have to take wellness freaking seriously to the point where it's like my ambitious energy is a form of my therapy. It's a form of how I win. It's about taking pride in the where I want to go. Okay, then let's go to the 5. So inside of a 5 energy, I was just telling this to my friend, exercising to exhaustion daily. If you are hyper with these numbers, you may feel like daily is like, yeah, I don't know, some of my friends who go to the gym twice a day. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, you like this guy, these people look like like they could get a spray of the superhero outfit. And it would like, you know, that like you see muscles on the superhero uniforms. I'm like, that's so tight. It got your pecs. Like it literally got your pecs on there. Like this is like the power of people who like have the 5, like they're a warrior and their safety is within the mechanism of their health. This is important. The negative side of this is a fight and it's a bad loss, like deaths. So if you go into the positive 5, you fight for someone. If you go into the positive 5, you fight for yourself. You know, you fight for your inner child. You express fun and joy. There's a really important part about 5 that says, I want to exercise. I want to have fun. I want to have joy. I want to have something new. I want to experience something I haven't done before, but I want to go off the beaten path. It's a cool space for the 5. If you have a 5 energy or 5 life path or born in May or wherever it shows up and you know you would like to have love in your life, I'm telling you, if this person that you're in love with is into this, you might just have a really good time with them. Can you imagine if they were like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to go there. I don't want to do that. No, I don't have the energy for that. You're going to feel really like stifled in your love life, right? You're going to feel like I need to rush somewhere else or I need to go somewhere else. I need to do something else. And so I'm not, saying there's anything wrong or right with a 5. Everything is right with all the numbers. It's just, do you respect them? Do you respect their freedom? Do you respect their space? Or are you the type of person who's going to cling on to someone and not know how to do the healthy cling? The healthy cling on is like, I know when to hold on to you and when to feel like we can just throw ourselves in passion and feel like the days will never end. And then I know how to healthily uncling from you and give you your space, your time, and your effort, your energy for you, so that you don't feel like I'm constantly like riding up against you. So enjoying a five, they hate that. They hate it when someone's like gonna check up on me, make sure I'm home at a certain time. Like that just drives someone to be outside of relation. Maybe they rushed into it because the five just been like, oh, okay. And the next thing you know, this isn't what I like. This isn't what I want. This isn't how it makes me feel. And yeah, so appreciative that just gonna get my alarm here. It's about to go off. It's about to be 11:11. My local time, August 1st. Happy birthday, mama. My mommy's birthday today. Missing her. I'm gonna see her in a few days, so don't worry about me. So the vibration of a five energy looks towards on the positive side, let's get something new done. Let's break the mold. On a negative side, someone's fighting me and I have to defend myself and I have to fight this person. And sometimes with a five, we end up fighting other people's battles. So imagine this in a relationship. You want to make sure someone's got a nice five. Otherwise, they fight dirty. If they got a bad looking five in there, they may just cheat on you, or may just run off on you, or may just feel like I'm done with this and I don't want to do this anymore. And like, that's not to say that's wrong. It's just that, you know, the circumstances pulled themselves up into that direction. So love it or not, I don't think that, you know, you get a choice. You get a choice to just honor what you see. So inside of the seven, we have a space of being where nature is a really big space, also champion or addiction. So having this as a personal number inside of my chart, knowing that I have to sit with myself and not need to feel like I need to do anything, but just to be who I am is more than enough. And this is the part that allows me to be very attractive to my wife. Because outside of the seven, if I need to, if I have to, if I must, then, you know, there isn't this air of confidence that allows me to be me. I'm always in a space or a state of trying to figure something out, or trying to do something, or trying to get something. So inside of a seven, we can feel pretty lazy. Yeah. But if you would like to take care of yourself in that, give yourself time to rest. Make 7 p.m. a sacred relationship. This is, I don't move after 7. I'm going to be with myself. I don't get up until 7. I'm going to be with myself. Or like there's a space in there that allows, it says it's okay for me to just be here, or it's okay for me to just hold the space. You know, in the negative 7, we're like feeling like, oh no, I didn't say the right thing. I've got to say something, or I've got to do something. Or what if I don't say the right thing? And you know, the coolest thing about a 7 is very intuitive. So there's a deep prompt to appreciate what you know, you're allowing yourself to be, instead of just always constantly feeling like you've got, or sorry, in the 7, allowing yourself to see what the future will unfold for you as well as a very strong psychic energy. You know, if you don't express in a 7, you may see amazing things happen that are meant for you happen to other people. Or inside of a love, a 7 shows up as no, it's okay, it's okay. And then like I just want to be admired from a distance. Don't give me the energy. Don't give me the attention. I don't need that attention right now. So what, it might be a bit more of a subtle relationship frequency that connects more in a spiritual or connects more in a mental than it needs to connect in a physical. Not to say that these people couldn't be very physically beautiful or physically empowering, but the 7 energy is more intrinsic. So I would like to think, if you find, like, you look at the word soulmate as a 7, and soulmate brings up a lot of triggers with people. What does it mean? And da. And I look towards spirit and mystic. So if I have a 7 energy inside of my love life, I might feel like I know this person from another time. And, you know, looking at Sally's chart, her and I, we share these 7s in a beautiful way. So we just talk about being soulmates and all that. And it's a beautiful romance because, of course, who doesn't, I mean, if you're like me, who doesn't want to appreciate what that kind of feels like? When someone's going to say, I've been with you before, I'm going to be with you again, and we're not alone in this world, like, you know, we're going to be together. And so there's a nice space inside of that, but then that also goes straight true with addiction. And it's just like, you can see how this goes in a positive or a negative space. So when we're allowing something to just be what it is, just appreciate that inside of a love life, a 7 doesn't need to prove anything. It doesn't need to go out there and make it happen. It allows things to happen to it. And in through that is a beautiful expression. There's nothing that needs to be anything else. So when we go to the 7, like I find the 7 is a non-gender specific number, that it goes both into the wisdom of man and then also into the beauty of female. And it's like I'm both and neither at the same time. So to hold on to that 7 energy, it's very appreciative if you are a masculine looking or masculine appreciating female with vibrations that are masculine, or feminine vibrations like myself. I've got all feminine vibes inside of my chart that allow me to be very sensitive, and I can do this talking thing. And, you know, we're sitting here to this kind of therapy conversation. So appreciative that, you know, you can exist in a relationship if you are a woman who's very driven and you've got this very ambitious thing that says, I'm going to take all the guys out. I'm going to show them how the ladies do it. We're going to do it better than the guys do it. And you're out there to achieve. I mean, what's wrong with that? Right? You just might not want to pick a guy who is like that, because then he'll be like, no way, I'm going to fight you. You can't beat me. I'm going to be the best. And I'm like, that doesn't quite work. But if she found a person who was going to be supportive and her cheerleader, you got this, babe, of course you can do it. You know, there's a bit more of a cooperation in that. There's nothing to say wrong with your chart. If you got all woman numbers and you're a dude, who cares? If you got all dude numbers and you're a girl, who gives a shit? Seriously, no relevance ever on that. It's really just about you identifying the dynamic of you. This is why I really love helping people find their love life, because if it's waiting for you and you're ready for it, you're ready to do the work and you're ready to become that thing, let's just make sure that your algorithms, your frequencies are showing up in a space that attract the right type of relationship, so that when your vibe attracts your vibe, your tribe, that it's going to be the right one, right? Because it's super important. That's why I'm like, oh, let's talk about the self. Forget about relationship for a minute. Have a relationship with you. Most of what I ever talk about inside of love and love life and soulmates and kind of, I'm like, yeah, but where are you at? What would you do if you met the woman or the man of your dreams? Like, would they consider you the woman or the man of their dreams? And so that was one of the biggest things that I was ever like focused on, was like, whoa, no, not at all. I have work to do. If I met the woman of my dreams, she'd probably just walk right by me, and like I would have never noticed, because I didn't have that sense of of love for myself. I wasn't focusing on me. I mean, this is my birthday. So if I go June 28, 1984, and from 27 years old, I find the one, I find that I want it all, the me. But inside of the 6, we're going to get into the space of clan to family dependent relationships, all of that. Where we get into the 6, it says, I'm going to be taking care of other people. I'm not taking care of myself. So I'm going to wake up to a rude awakening that says, oh my God, no wonder I didn't get the relationship I wanted, even though it was the only thing I ever wanted. It was because I didn't focus on what I needed to do first. I didn't take first things first. I took first things second. The first thing I took first was other people. And this is why we have a challenge inside of these numbers, but it's okay. So let's go through them. So relationships. How about we just appreciate relationship itself is a 2. So we know that this is going to be like, of course, relationship is all about the 2. If I appreciate, where else do we get to relationship energy? Really, the 3 comes in there. The 6 is in there. Some of these numbers blend in. So let's do this one at a time. So 2, 3, and 6. So the vibration of 2 is relationship and partner and connection. It's also spaces for wisdom. So inside of 2 energy, we're constantly marking ourselves to the other, comparing ourselves to the other. How do we get, how do they like me? Do my kids approve of me? Does my wife approve of me? Does my audience approve of me? You see how it's my approval seems to be related to the relationship or the connection that seems to hold some sort of a value. It does, but if you've got the two, you're the one with the value to hold it for someone else. Like, don't get stuck underneath the negative two that says, I need this person to tell me I'm okay. On the positive side of the two, you're the one that tells the other person that you're not going to let go, that I'm going to be there for you, that I will help you for this. I've become strong, that I will know how to healthily cling. I know how to hold on to you, not let you go. I know how to let go of you without letting you go. I know how to not cling as well inside of the two. So there's a space. Well, it's not like it's a very learned and trained mechanism. It's not something that just easily happens. It's something that you have to appreciate. So it's like you have to learn how to do that. So let's go into the three. The three wants to have, again, fun and joy, and wants to laugh. It wants to have freedom. There's a space inside of relationship that just wants to play with kids. It's playful, or play as kids, play with my children, enjoy that, laughing, very cool energy inside of the three. On the negative side of the three, we worry, does this person like me? Are they going to be with me? Am I going to be okay with them? Is this going to work? Is it going to work out? And I love the three, because we look at four and you're constantly wondering in the three, does what I build work? Will it work? If I build it, will it work? Because the three is not yet at the four. So we don't know if yet it is safety, if it is safe or not. So we can appreciate inside of a three energy. We've got coach and cheerleader. We also hold energies like sex and woman and freedom. So there's a lot in this that allows a female to be taken advantage of, or a guy to be taken for granted, or a woman to go through a tough path in life, and constantly getting victimized. Same thing with the guy. It's like, on the positive end, oh, well, she knows how to wrap anyone around her finger, or she knows the value of relationships. Because if you look at relationship as a two, the three is one step above it. That says, yes, I know how to do that. I know exactly which way to go. I know exactly how to do, because I just be present for them. I remember a real estate agent who had threes, and she's like, before I start talking about anything, we just get together for a coffee first, and I learn their story. I become friends first. We actually find out if we want to do business together. Like, I really will do that with someone before we start showing them houses or anything else. Like, we have to develop a relationship first. And I'm like, I get that you would be very successful in that, because she's inside of a three energy. And we know that there's no agenda in that. The three is just playful. It's just present like a child. So when we know that there's a present playfulness as a child, we're not worried about if they do anything or not, or we're more worried about if we're enough, if we can have that. So just kind of, I guess, food for thought in the three. If you want to use it, we'll go to the six, and then we'll go back to uses. Okay, so we can appreciate that. Let's make a bit more space on here, just in case it's not confusing enough as it is. And then that way we got this. Okay, so then we go to the six. And six in relationship, it weighs sincerity. So you may find yourself in a serious relationship, or a really big care for others. Like, you want to be a teacher to them. So there's a lot of the maturity of love that shows up inside of six that says, oh, we should get married. The three's like, don't ruin it. The five and the three would be like, don't ruin it. Don't do that. Let's just enjoy the present moment. Let's not talk about tomorrow or anything else. Let's just be here now. In the six, I'm born in June. I'm already looking for a wife when I'm like 10. Whatever. But like, it's true that we own a much bigger seriousness to our energy when we hold it in a mature space. So inside of the six, it's like, oh, I'm going to be here when I come home. You're going to be here when I come home, or I'm going to make dinner for us, or I'm going to change the kids' diapers, or I'm going to make sure that the kids got this and this. So there's so much in that we appreciate when we're looking at the six. In the negative six, oh, I'm no good. I'm sadness. We're looking at this, like, we go, the self is 157. Then we go into relationships, look towards these guys, relationships, right? 2, 3, 6. Yeah, so we are appreciative that when we're weighing on relationship, it's how do I have fun with my friends? How do we just run around and just do our thing and be us? Or let's say, I really fell in love with you and now I really want to be with you, or I want to do something bigger with you. So relationship spaces. Now, of course, we're looking for love, right? Not me, but you're looking for love if you are. And I'm like, okay, well, it's in the self. They're like, I did that. I worked out. I did that. I rested. I meditated, and I did that. That's my wellness. I did some ambition. I'm ambitious about me having a love life. Like I get it. I did take care of myself. So I'm like, okay, so now let's go out there and see who you're reflecting. At the beginning, it's your friends. At the beginning, it's your plants, it's your dog, it's your parents, it's your, all the non, relationships you have the non loved ones, the non-romantic relationships, and get a chance to show up. So they're going to teach you, right? Your animals, your family, they'll all teach you, your friends, they'll all teach you, how do I hold myself in relationship? And you can tell by the person who always borrows money from you, or the person who always use you as someone to just like complain to, or maybe they just always complain at you, right? There's a power and a challenge in that. So when I'm like taking a look at what do you do? How do you navigate through this in the partnership space? We know our own value and we know the value of being there for others. In the 3, we know how critical and important play is, that we almost do it first before we start to get to work, because it's important that we install the playful energy in there. Okay, and then inside of 6, inside of relationship, when you're with someone, you take the time to have sincere, loving, caring conversations that don't just like throw the mud at each other. -6, you can feel like you're just blaming someone else and why me, and I'm sad, and oh my gosh, and you did this to me. And there's a lot of the negative me inside of the 6. I wonder why. Selfish is also the vibration of 5, and it's got a 1 in it. So it's well-rounded to be like, hey, what about me? Where do I get to fit in? What's my part? How come I'm always doing this and nobody ever takes care of me and this and that? And that's a -6. So it weighs sincerity. Holding on to it allows us to revisit the vibration of self-care, and also the love and the joy it is to care about someone that we love and care about. Like, this is a beautiful thing, right? Female, teacher, husband, these are all 6 energies that allow us to experience true wealth. Okay, so we're very, very strong to love how relationship shows up inside of there. Let's keep going. So clan, family, dependence. Again, the 2 shows up, the 4, and then definitely the 8. Where we're taking a big space here. So the 2 is entrusted as the partner. Again, well, maybe we'll just leave it out and let's just do this. So let's just do 4 and 8. And the 4 is about working. So the 4 is about what we get to work, what's safe, how do we feel good in that? And then also on the negative side of this, we go down into pain and challenge, and difficulty. So the 4 is going to be really tough, especially if you're in a family and you've got people depending on you. They're depending on you as in what? They cannot eat by themselves, or they can't pay their own bills. They can't secure their own environments. So we have to work hard, and sometimes that's a pain and a challenge to work hard in order to keep things safe. So if you find yourself in relationship or you're wanting to fall in love with someone and you see this number, you better be ready to respect the value of the work that this person's here to bring. And of course, they have to as well too, right? Because we're looking at 4 and 8. This is clan and family and dependence. People need to eat. People need to have the lights on. People need to go and have their cell phones. They want to have their iPads. They want to go and eat and enjoy experiences. So these things cost. So inside of a 4, we have the alchemy principle that says, if I have people to feed, I'm going to get to work now and I'm going to get it done. So we want a little bit of rest for these people. We would like to have a little bit of, tolerance, that they may not always be in the right mood. Sometimes they can be a little bit moody as well too. Same thing with 6. It's just got a lot on its plate. So when we're looking towards the 8 energy inside of love relationships, this is soulmates, is in the connection of it. It's also legacy, and also the high supreme power of mental power. It's very difficult. You get into a wrong side of an 8. This is domineering, commanding, and just absolutely takes its own what it needs to, and doesn't need to ask. It's irritated when it needs to explain itself to anyone. They're just in complete godlike control and power. And it's not the most, easiest thing to appreciate if you have to be around someone like this. it feels like they're either in it for themselves or they've disassociated out of disinterest. And it's like, that's okay, I get it, it's an 8. But when we're in the positive 8, this is about legacy and creating soulmate energy. That's like plural, soulmates. So we know that there's a beautiful connection, relationship, and partnership being able to tie into that. Okay. Yeah, 6 really and 4 really lean back into community and tribe, and also lean high into collective. So let's just do the last number. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So let's just go into collective because love, it starts with the self, it gets into the relationship, and then of course things happen from there. But if in case you don't want kids, you're not an entrepreneur, it's just you in the world, with Bonnie by its Clyde, right? So inside of the 9, we've got collective care and also big solution. This is business. So we have something here that's supposed to change things and be something else for someone else. We're trying to look at this in love. This is the word love. So inside of love, relationships, and connection, 9 says, I'm going to absorb that which is yours. I will take it on. I will be there for you. I will do whatever. I will care for you. I'll show you and give you my care. It's a big topic because the 9 it's a problem energy. This is actually not easy because, it's like I'm always ready to take on someone else's issue or someone else's thing and someone else's whatever. And it's like, when do I ever get to focus on my own? Or even worse, you may identify other people's nonsense as your own. And it's like nonsense, nonsensical. Thank you. It's nonsensical because it just doesn't, you can't save the world. You can save yourself and in so teach the world how to save itself. Or you can just save a bunch of people for a limited amount of time, limited time only, save you now, but when I'm dead, I can't save you anymore. And that's nice. Maybe a philanthropist is cool. But in my opinion, the big spaces of 9, it's like our spiritual cosmic connection to love and what it means to be. So finding soulmates or being soulmates is so cool because it literally is 9. So being soulmates shows up inside of 9, shows up as love. So it's no wonder why we're so into it, why we would like to enjoy that space. Also, if you have a 9, get ready for this really big fairy tale looking fantasy of a love life and a connection that sometimes the rest of your chart's like, it's not going to happen. And the 9 is like, but I want it to happen. This is my goal. And the rest of your chart is not in 9. And it's like, no, it's not going to happen. You're misguided. You're not going to be able to get this thing done. So it's really sad when, you get a 9 energy and you don't know what to deal with it, because it's like, go help and give care to others can be so awesome. By the time you're done, your prize is waiting for you. And we're looking to create love in our lives. So if I'm looking at a love relationship, let's just summarize here. First one we're looking at says, I'm going to love myself. I have to love myself first if anyone else is going to love me. And then the second one, which is taking wellness, the second one says, I build a relationship with myself. So I would take myself out to dinner, or I can enjoy a meal alone, or I can enjoy, my own company. That's a beautiful space inside of the 4. Inside of the 3, can I make someone feel good? Can I be present for them so that they are able to get to a new space inside of their world? Like, it's nice to celebrate and acknowledge someone else, right? If I'm looking at but I have to acknowledge my own relationship of value and giving and care too. So relationship is the name of the game. Do I connect right with this person? And there's actually a really interesting way of knowing if you connect with someone and what kind of problems they might have. It's your numerology, human design. It's going to show you what the dynamic is between you and the other. It's so neat when you see that. If you've ever wanted to take a look at that, all you need to do, give me you and your partner's birthday. If you don't have a partner yet, just yours, but I would love to connect and see, does this person have a potential with someone? What's the potential factor or the potentiality, whatever, of this person being successful in love? Because there's a really easy way of figuring it out. And it's knowing which way your mechanics flow. So moving forward, if it's in the 3, does this person love to laugh and enjoy? Can I have enjoyment with myself? Can I enjoy it with others? Can I appreciate my own freedom? Can I appreciate my warrior mode? What's me and my art? What's me and my space? My fun, jovial energy that I get to bring to the paradigm. I want to just enjoy and have fun. And people want to be around me. It's social. So if I'm looking for love here, I don't have an agenda. I just want to be social. I know that maybe I might meet the right person, but that's it. Inside of the 4, I want to know that I can get to work. I want to know that I can do the right thing for my family or the right thing for myself, the right thing for my relationship. And I want to be responsible about it. So it's nice to have a 4 because shit gets done and you can actually like build a life on top of a foundation with a 4. So we are very blessed and lucky that, you know, we own 4 energy. Sally does a lot of it because she brings a lot of that to the table. So for those of us or those of you guys who are looking for love, 4 energy says get organized, get critical, and get real with what you're up to so that you can, you know, stand tall to the person that you're going to be with, that you've gone through the challenges and the difficulties of how 4 can feel kind of rigid. It's like, it's not that it feels rigid. It is specifically designed to look like a square. So it's going to be straight until you have to make a hard right, until you have to make a hard right again, and you have to keep on working at it until it becomes a perfect square. So it's not easy to hold 4 energy. It really requires in a love life someone with appreciation for what that is. So they may not have it, or they may have complementary numbers that look towards your 4 or the 4s in you that says, okay, this person is going to be very serious when it comes to their work. Okay. We go into the 5, the energy there is about freedom. Again, joy and fun again. And do I keep the spice of love alive in my relationship? Or is this person someone who's I'm going to get bored at? If I get bored of this person, I'm in a 5, you're out. So simple. It's so easy. So try not to, try not to think too hard about it. The 5 doesn't want to, it just wants to run away. So in case you're feeling like you need to run away, I'm betting that you got a 5 in there that's like not expressing and it makes you feel like you're trapped. Inside of the 6, we just want loyalty. We want commitment. We want to know that this person wants to be with us forever. Let's build a family together. Let's create new frequency together. Holding on to this in relationship, love it or not, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You're online. If you're dating online in your dating profile and you have a lot of 6, you may just be like, no, looky loose. I'm only into this for something serious. I'm not trying to just have a fun time. If you're in the 3 and the 5, you would be like, well, we'll see where this happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see where this goes. I'm not want to make any promises, but I might just want to leave after I'm having this experience because I'm not in this to, the dating app lets me meet a lot of people because I like that. There's a few, and then if you read that and you're in the 5 and you've got a 6, you just save yourself from a world of pain. Because if you're honest about it and you're like, well, I'd like to settle down. I'd like to, find an adventure partner, or I want to find someone I can travel with. Imagine this is like music for someone who's like, I'm looking for all these people, but nobody seems to be adventurous and loyal the same way I am. And that's what we need to have inside of our relationship in order for it to work. So keep your mind on the prize as a 5 to say, I don't know exactly what I'm looking for, or I may know it, I need to get it, or I don't know, and it's going to come to me, or it'll just be there when I see it. I don't have a plan, but I know that when it comes there, it's going to feel it. I'm going to see it. It's going to have a space. Until then, I'm preparing. I'm getting a better body. I'm getting a better mind frame, a better mindset. I'm looking to get better in my life so that when the 5 comes out, I'm ready to be in that experience with that person. Okay. In the 6. Sorry, we went from 5, we went to 6, we go to 5 and 6. The value of the 6 again goes to say, I would have children with this person, I want to get married with this person. So loyalty is a big, huge part of the game. Okay, let's go into the 7. We appreciate it again. To summarize, the 7 says, leave me alone. And that doesn't mean I don't love you. It just means that I need to have space for myself. I need to be, I'm reclusive as well. For Sally, that's a really big part of her chart that says she requires space without anyone else in it so that she can actually get some rest, as opposed to feeling like her aura is being chewed on by all of us. And then there's other spaces where she wants to hang on and she wants to be there. So appreciative of the 7 that it's like you have to allow for being. You cannot grab and tie the dinosaur down or tie the gorilla down. Like you must respect its nature. We go into the 8, creative power to go and materialize. So entrepreneurs, successful people, successful business owners, the 8 space, or it could just be partner in charge. It says, I'm going to control everything the way this thing works. You're going to listen to me, otherwise you can leave, you can get out. But I'm the one in control there. So careful to appreciate that energy, okay? Because it goes really, really epic too. And then the 9 says, I care. I care so much, I forgot to care about myself. Like, that's not right. I take on so many other people's problems. That's not right. I'm going to be there as a loving space of support and encouragement from the collective all the way down to myself. And if there's one thing, the 9, that one thing that you guys can do to make sure you're respecting it is respect the fairy tale. Like if you have 9s in your chart, and a lot of them, you may have a very high taste for love or a very big expectation for what it wants or what you want for it. So appreciate that in the 9. Don't say to yourself, oh, I really want it, but I don't know if I'm ever going to meet a person like that. It's like, that's negative law of attraction. It's still going to work. So you don't want that. You want to really, truly say, I'm not settling. I'm not going to settle for anything less than my dreams desire, because that thing is divine timing. I know this stuff's going to come out from it. So we put the numbers back into summary. Let's put this masterclass back into summary. You want to be in love with someone. You want to have the love life of your life. You want to be in love with whatever. Love yourself first, intrinsically and truthfully, and then you can watch how your relationships start to reflect around you. If it's the wrong person, now you know. Now you know, and you'll be like, I don't think so. I don't actually say yes to this anymore. I've learned how to say no, and so because I worked on myself. Or you now be able to recognize the person who's truly meant to be for you because you have all these tools. Like for people with my clients, if you guys are into it and you need to, you hang out with me here, tinyurl.com/Bobby90min. You can book your session to hang out with me. Also, I am on Facebook a lot, so it's a blessing to connect with you guys here on YouTube. So yeah, let's go back to the space. If your relationships are reflecting you, then you get a chance to know. And if you don't know and you're meeting someone, my clients, my friends message me with birthdays of their love, their potential interests or names, and I can give them a pretty good looking understanding of what this person looks like or feels like in order for them to feel successful in relationship, or even saving marriages, saving relationships by allowing both of them to recognize and realize what it is in each other that makes them work or makes them attracted to each other or that they require or that they need. So if you're on the look for love, stop looking and start loving yourself like there's no tomorrow. Like you don't get it. Like you're the last day and all you get to do is love you and love what you have to do today. So that's a big part of my, creating relationships in the external is having an internal infrastructure for being able to hold relationships like that first with you, with your inner warrior, with your inner wellness, your inner ambition, your inner child, your inner wisdom, your inner mystic, your inner godlike being, your inner fire, your inner fighter, your inner tiger, your inner dragon, all of those things that are inside of you. Do you have a loving relationship with them? Or do you go into the mirror and be like, ugh, and I can't believe this, and what do I got to do? And oh man, and look at myself. And then not only do you fail to love your physical body, but you successfully destroy your mental mind by giving it this narrative that says, I'm too old, I'm too big, I'm too small, I'm too. I'm like, stop doing that. No wonder we don't have the love we're looking for. I mean, as a collective, because we're not ready to do the work in ourselves to love who we truly are. And this is one of the biggest journeys I've ever had to go through because I'm sitting here with one until I'm 54 years old. So I know that my self-discovery is an ever-flowing concept. If it's about me, you might catch me biting my nail or stroking my beard or being like, shit, I don't know, I'm stuck. But if you find me out here with you guys, it's like, oh, straight value, straight goods. Let's get this thing on the board. For sure, I would love to help you because this is what it's all about. And it's so beautiful to appreciate the intersection of me because one part wants to get serious, one part doesn't want to get serious. So I have to play the aloofness in order to appreciate that. For you guys going into your love life, don't go alone, even if it's just taking a friend and just having a friend who you can confide to about your love life. If it's someone you need to talk about, you can definitely come to me. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching this today. I hope that you guys got value on what it means to be in love with yourself and what it means to create love outside of you. This topic is a huge one. I could definitely go on, but I will cut it for now. And then on our part 3, we're going to talk about making money. It's going to be cool because money and love are literally the same vibration. It's the same problem. And we're going to have the tough talk. So I appreciate if you haven't watched part 1, watch part 1. If you haven't watched part 1, watch part 1. Get yourself right. It'll give you a really good indicator and clear spaces of it. Part 2, get your love right. Love yourself. Love the people around you. Part 3, let's turn on the money tree inside of you so that you can create a level of wealth that, that you've only been able to dream of. All right, guys, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys have a great weekend or a great week ahead of you. It's already Monday. I thought it was the weekend. That's what happens when you're an entrepreneur. Every day is Monday. I mean, you don't hate your life and you're just like, I love Mondays. Why you got to hate on Mondays? Not Mondays, it sucks. Your job sucks. So I appreciate loving Mondays. Happy birthday to my mom. Let's go out there and get it, guys. If you ever need to have a conversation with me, it's tinyurl.com/Bobby90min, or you can always see me at createloveandwealth.xyz. And of course, we're out there on Facebook too. I'll see you guys later.